Well, I've caught a few fish across Kinder Cupping Corn, but there's a lot of trouble with small fish. And now I've started to loose feed pellets and fish shallow, half depth. And I'm starting to catch quite a few carp. Now, I don't think they're the biggest ones in the lake by any means, because I was told that there's some fish here approaching double figures. And a lot of the fish I've caught are about £2, but I'm hoping that when we go in the margins later on in the session that we catch some decent fish. But there really is a lot of fish over there, and just by loose feeding 6mm pellets and shallowing up, I've definitely started to catch carp more frequently and not having so much trouble with little fish. There's another carp there now. Again, you can see just loose feeding, and it's just what I thought on these canal lakes. It's always been the same: fishing shallow, loose feeding and attacking it. You're a lot more selective as far as the carp and the F1s. You don't get so many roach or rudd or problems with small fish. And like I said earlier, the best thing about it is you don't suffer with foul hooking them as much when you're fishing for them off bottom. You can see that's the rig that I showed you earlier. Small carp there, most of them have been a bit bigger than that. Just set probably 10 inches deep, and the key is just to keep loose feeding all the time. And also, like we spoke about, the edge peg, you've got to keep that fed. Not only you're not too sure when you want to try it, so you've got to keep it fed, but at any time, especially when you're fishing long pole, weather conditions can change, the wind can get up, or the fish can just go, and you're forced into trying to catch the fish closer. But like I say, there's an odd fish swirling across. There's another one now. You can really see, if you can catch these fish shallow, you can see what I said is just underlined now by the quickness that we've just put one in the net, straight across. We've loose fed before we've gone in, and we've got another one on immediately. And I've always said on these snake lakes, if there's a volume of fish, and like I say, it's my first time to Greenridge Farm, and there really is a lot of fish here, and maybe the bigger fish are in close, I don't know, but there really is an absolute mountain of fish against that far bank. Just keep loose feeding. It's another decent fish, this one. All the time. When you're playing fish, when you've netted fish, it's about keeping that feed going in. There you go, another nice mirror. That's been about the average size of the fish, to be honest. I've had one a little bit bigger, a few a little bit smaller, but none of the lake's real big fish. But like I've said, I've got that edge peg where I'm throwing corn all the time, keeping it topped up, and hopefully towards the end of the session, when we have a look down there, we'll be rewarded not only with carp, but hopefully with some bigger fish. Just using a banded pellet, and like I say, it's all about priming it up and keeping those fish feeding for when you go back out. You'll see a lot of people, they'll hook a fish and they won't feed until they're actually back in the water again. And for me, that's a big mistake, because I'd rather take a few extra seconds out the water and knowing that there'd probably be a fish there waiting for me when I go in. Again, lots of little indications. Just keep those 6mm pellets pinging in right up to the far bank. So there's even an odd fish sucking at the far bank here, but I don't mind that. There's another one there. You can see it's fantastic really, because it's good for me to demonstrate my favourite way of fishing these lakes. I'm not saying it's the best way, but all I know is is that if you can catch shallow against the far bank on these snake lakes, you're going to be very, very hard to beat.